Hey guys, how's it going? It is time for another LAB78. Welcome. Yes, my name is Sky, and I am quite lonely right now. I am lonely because my partner, Elin, is not here today, so I am definitely missing her, and I'm hoping that she'll be here for next week. All right, guys, today is a very special episode. It's about my life in Malaysia, and what is life in Malaysia like? And I'll tell you, I've been to 23 different countries, and I'll tell you by the end of this episode where I rank Malaysia in places that I want to live. Like if I ranked it out of 23 countries, okay? So I'm really grateful and thankful for all of you joining here. And last week was kind of crazy as we had that one vlog that went crazy viral. I think it's already at like 17,000 views at the moment. So crazy happy about this, and we're marching towards 2,000 subscribers. If you are new, guys, or if you haven't done it yet, go ahead, hit subscribe, right? And then I also want you to hit the notification bell so you know when any of these new videos come out. But most importantly, you guys all know this, right? First, everyone in the room that's watching, make sure you like the video. Like, click like on the video right away. And secondly, please, you need to comment on the video too. Now, here's the thing. If you have no idea what to comment about, all I want you to do is write down your favorite vegetable. That's it, guys. Write your favorite vegetable, and you will help out with the algorithm, and this video will also spread all around the world, right? So today's episode, I wanted to be a little bit more casual, you know, and I'm lonely because Elin's not here, but we're going to talk about my life living in Malaysia. Inside the room, you guys can go ahead, chat up a storm. You know, if you have any questions, I might not be able to catch everything, but go ahead, write your questions down. I would love to hear about it. Just a couple things you need to know about me. Number one is I've been to Malaysia 4 times. Okay, so the first 3 times were like vacation, right? It's just kind of coming to visit. All you get to see is the good things. However, this last time, this 4th time that I've come, I'm here for the entire pandemic. So it's been over a year now. I've been here since the end of February last year. So we're talking like 13 months now. So I'm going to talk about what life is like in Malaysia, things that I like, things that I don't really like that much. And then I'll give you my ranking of Malaysia among the 23 countries. Now, I do want to do a couple of the Q&As. Okay, there's a tons of comments that are coming out. Okay, so there's Q&As that I do want to talk about. And the first question that I get a lot is, who are you? Right? Who are you? This Asian-looking person that talks like an American, right? Who are you? Actually, I had another question is, what are you? So I'm sitting there like going, what am I? What do you mean, what am I? And of course, they're talking about, like they're basically asking if I was Chinese or not. And the first thing you need to know, guys, is I am Korean, right? I am Korean. My blood is Korean. However, I was born in Canada, and that's why I speak like this, right? I speak so clearly, and I speak like in the dramas, in the movies that you see in the Western movies and stuff, right? So the only reason I speak like this because I was born in Canada, born and raised. My first language is English. I learned Korean from the age of like 32. I started to learn a little bit more of Korean. So yeah, now my Korean's not too bad. Okay, so Korean Canadian. You got to know this story because, you know, knowing the stories of people kind of helps us to get closer to each other. It kind of gets that good connection. And I'll tell you how my parents got to Canada. It's a crazy story. Now, my parents, they both went to the same church in Korea in like an old countryside town called Gongju, which means princess. I don't know why, right? So they're in this old town. My grandfather's a pastor of the church. And what happens is, on my mom's side, the eldest son goes to like a really good university, the first son or the first person in the family to go to university. It's called Korea University, Koreode, right? And what happens is he goes into a writing contest. And the winner of the writing contest wins like himself and 20 people to immigrate to Canada. Tell me this is in the early 70s. The winner of the writing contest gets to immigrate for free to Canada with 20 people. So my uncle was telling me the stories. When they're in Korea in a poor town, my uncle was telling me they were so poor. They were so hungry that their house, the roof was made out of straw. And what they do is they go to the roof and they look for baby birds. And they would eat like baby sparrows, and that's how poor they were. And then all of my mom's side of the family moved over to Vancouver, Canada, and then now, now I've been like traveling all over the world for about since when? Since 2003. been traveling. I've been to 23 different countries. Have you heard? I was a missionary. I pastored a church. I do leadership courses for businesses. I do leadership talks and like motivational, inspirational talks for like universities and businesses alike. So that's what I've been doing since then, right? So that's kind of been my life, and that's why I can tell you that I can give you a ranking of countries I like to live in, and I'll tell you by the end of this where I would rank Malaysia. And actually, you might be a little bit surprised by this, right? Some other people asked me, actually, some of the questions they asked is, do you live here now? And the answer is no, I don't, right? It's pandemic time. I'm still on a travel visa because there's no flights and, you know, there's all these problems because of the pandemic. So that's why I'm still here. But I would really like to live here, though, which gives you an idea where I'm going to rank Malaysia, somewhere in the area, right? Okay, so let's talk about, do I like living here? Okay, I'm going to give you the overall thing, right? Do I like living here, right? So do I like living here? And the answer is number one. Well, not do you live here, it's do you like living here, which is like 1, 2, you know, the next one's here, right? So I think it's the next one. Is it the next question? But either way, right, is do you like living here? And it is, yes, I do, because number one is weather. Weather is awesome here. And I'm going to tell you why, because in Canada, it gets really cold, right? Super cold. I like hot weather. I don't like when it gets too cold and snowy. It looks nice from the inside when it's warm with the fireplace, but going outside, I hate it, right? So here is perfect. And I'll tell you another thing is, because of the tropical weather, one of the things I love is I like being comfortable. Like even right now, wearing pants is very uncomfortable for me. Very uncomfortable. I want shorts, I want t-shirts, and I want slippers. And the thing I loved about Malaysia was wherever I went, you know, in the beginning when you first come, you always have to dress nice. You're wearing jeans and you're sweating like crazy. I'm like, oh, but every restaurant, everywhere I went, everyone was wearing slippers and shorts. And I was like, man, you know what? I got to start becoming more Malaysian. So I would start wearing shorts and t-shirts, going to these restaurants, even if the restaurants are a little bit nice, I would wear slippers knowing in my head that I would find multiple people in that restaurant with slippers too. And this is what makes me comfortable, because I like to be comfortable. So clothes and the weather, I love it. Even the humidity, I love it. I like humidity too, because humidity is good for the skin. Okay, that was stupid. Either way. Okay, so that's number one, is the weather. Second thing is I like that it's inexpensive. Right? Like you can live on a very, very cheap budget here. Like, you know what I do for lunch almost every day? I go to this place that has like chicken rice. It's like chicken rice for 5 ringgit. Chicken rice, and then you add some chasu, or you add roast pork, and it's like 2 ringgit more. It's a buck. It's like 1 ringgit 50 more. So I'm getting like 2 meats and rice for like 7 ringgit. And that is very, very, very good, inexpensive. And you got the mamaks here. I love the mamaks. Well, you know what? Do I like the mamaks or the hawkers better? I think I like, it depends what I'm going to eat. Maybe, you know, it really depends on the day, but both of them are kind of nice. I like the mamaks and the hawkers. The one thing that's kind of, you know, what I have to adapt to in my mind is kind of getting used to, you know, when you first come to another country, you're always like exchanging currency in your mind. And I'm always like, man, that's like 50 cents. Oh my gosh, that's like $2. Hey, that's like 3.50. And it's kind of like, you know, you're always exchanging in your head. And especially in Malaysia, the only reason I exchange is not because it's expensive, because it's so cheap. Like you know, when you get 7 ringgit, like when I make American dollars, 7 ringgit is like $1.75. And you will never, ever get food or lunch that cheap in America, ever, right? So I'm just always like, man, this is great. This is great. This is great. But, you know, now that it's been over a year, I don't really calculate that much, right? I don't really calculate that much. And I've adjusted myself, and now I'm in the ringgit Malaysia zone. Right, I'm no longer in the American dollar zone, so I no longer have to think so much when I'm buying certain things. Another thing is, well, the food. Food is so good here. Okay, now the reason why I like it here, and the reason why it's so good, is because it's authentic. It's authentic, like Southeast Asian food, Malaysian food. And then you guys got good Chinese food, and then good Indian food, and then the Western food is like, you guys have such a variety here. Like here's the difference. I think Western food is easier to make. That's what I'm thinking. And that's why everywhere you go, the Western food's pretty similar, right? Pretty similar. Like you go to a nice restaurant, it's pretty similar, right? But when you get to like authentic Malaysian food, or like even Chinese food, it's very hard to get that in a Western country. Like you have to go to a certain place to get that, but here it's all authentic, and that's why I like it. And whenever I miss the Korean food, there's Korean restaurants. Whenever I miss the Western food, there's Western, there's Italian, and all the food is good. And one of the questions someone gave me, they asked me was, what was the first food you ate when you came to Malaysia? And I remember this. I do remember this. It was 2010 when I first came. You know, I came on a late flight, and in the morning, where's the first place we went to? Early in the morning, we went to the mamak. And in the mamak, I ordered the most traditional mamak dish ever. It was roti canai, right? And it was so cool because when I'm ordering it, I'm like, whoa, like, oh, this is cool. And you're dipping it in the beans and stuff. And I kind of feel bad to myself, like going, oh man, I want to order another one. But later I look at the menu, it's like 1 ringgit and 40 cents. And I'm like going, please order me 7. Right? Give me 7 roti canais. And they're like, no. It's not just roti canai. There's roti telur. There's like all these different types of rotis. Like, oh my goodness, it's like roti heaven. So in the mamak was the first place that I actually had like Malaysian style food. I had the roti canai. And then, of course, for lunchtime, I was on a university. I think I was at Taylor University at that time, and I had I had to have the nasi lemak. Okay. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Nasi lemak is not my favorite here. It's just not my favorite. Like it's not that I can't eat it, but it's not my favorite. But I like it. Right. Nasi lemak was my second thing, but my all-time favorite food I have is satay. Now, satay is freaking amazing. Like, I will go to places and I have to, and that's the only reason I learned Malay. I only learned Malay so I can order my 10 daging or 10 ayam, right? I have to order 10 of each, and I don't know what it is. There's this brown sauce that comes with the satay. I have no idea what it is. Someone can write it in the room. I have no idea what this brown bean sauce is, but when you dip the satay in this sauce, it is like God brought this dish from heaven. Angels poured it into my dish, and when I put it in my mouth, there's an explosion of heaven, and angels fly out of my mouth and my ears, and I'm like, oh, this is heaven's food. Satay is my favorite. You guys gotta tell me, where can I get the best satay? Now, oh, wait a second. Someone told me there's a city. I think it's called, no. I think that's peanut. Kacang? That's peanut? What? No. Wait a second. There's a place that satay is supposed to be famous. Peanuts. I forget where it's, I have no idea where it is. But the 2 places I go to is right in Sunway. I have this guy at the Rock Cafe. He's the one that teaches me, right? He's the one that teaches me Malay. He's like, 10. I'm like, 10, right? And he's like going, daging, ayam. I was like, beef. He's like, daging. It's like, so he teaches me all this stuff. And then he's the one that taught me bungkus, right? He's like, bungkus. I'm like, bungkus. And he's like, bungkus. I'm like, bungkus, buddy. And it's like he's teaching me all these other different things. And so satay is definitely my favorite for sure. The pan mi's not bad. The laksa's freaking amazing. But I'm going to tell you guys, I am really, really looking forward to visiting one place. Penang. I've never been to Penang yet, but I heard everyone keeps telling me, and like there's people in the comments in the videos, they're all like, you haven't been to Penang? You have to go to Penang. You have to go to Penang. I'm like, okay, I gotta go to Penang. That makes sense to me, right? So I like the food. The food is so good, and of course, food is probably one of the top things that makes me want to live in a certain country, and it is primo here. Yeah, that's it. Kajang. Hey, what's peanut in Malay? Peanut. Is it kacang? Okay, so I get mixed up with peanut and this place. But I think, is the satay sauce made of peanut? I'm not sure. And something else I love about Malaysia is you got fruit. Fruit is dirt cheap here. They cut fruit on the side of the road. You just buy it. You got all these stalls. I forget what it's called. BGM? Oh, I forget what it was called. There's like all these stores in these malls that sell fresh food and stuff like that. So I'm super happy about that. Okay, so food, love it. Variety, everything is here. Oh, Malaysia food. That's what I'm gonna miss. Like going out to the hawker late at night or the mamak late at night, just talking and chilling with friends. Right? Like, honestly, guys, when you think about it in the end, there's only two things that matter about a country. Honestly, it's like people and food. That's what it really is, guys. That's what it comes down into the end, and that's what I kind of mark between the two things, right? Well, and the third thing would be price. If it's too expensive, you can't live there anyways, right? And of course, I'm going to talk about people next. And you guys saw my my vlog, right? My vlog about the Malaysians helping me out. Guess what? Next week's vlog, guess what? It's another Malaysian helping me out with more car trouble. You guys got to watch next week's too, because I don't know what it is, but Malaysians are just too nice, right? They're just too nice. They're very, very calm, except when they're driving. But they're very, very calm. And you know what? Here's the thing. In Malaysia, there's two things I don't hear. Number one is, I don't hear a lot of fighting or yelling. Right? Unless you take people quietly, like everyone's so polite, you beat people up like in a small, quiet room. Like, and I was like, like only if it's like that, I'd understand. But I never see any like violence. I never see fighting or yelling. Well, actually, there is yelling when you go into a Chinese restaurant. There's tons of yelling, and they're not angry at each other. It's just speaking Chinese, right? Yeah, like Chinese restaurants, like right. So I'm just like, oh, it's so loud in there, right? But you know who's really nice? Let me tell you a story of the nicest people I met. Police. I know tons of people tell me stories that the police are bad, the police have done, they're corrupt, whatever it is, like you can pay off the police. I have never had an issue with the police, and I think it could be because I'm a foreigner, but 3 times I had run-ins with police, and 3 times they were so nice, they smiled, and they let me go. 3 times, right? The first time, I'm not sure if you have these like seatbelt traps. Like one police officer is like waiting at the exit of the freeway, and he's looking for people not wearing seatbelts. So I was not wearing a seatbelt, just finished playing sports. My back is sweaty, so I don't want to wear a seatbelt because it's gonna get all sweaty. And they caught me, and then they they pulled me over. And the guy starts speaking to me in Malay, and I'm like, oh, not Malaysian, I'm from Canada. And then he's like, Sama. I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, go. And I was like, oh, wow. And he let me off. Super nice. Second time, during this MCO time, they're checking letters. If you have letters to cross a certain area, during the district time, when there was no district, the district lines were closed. And same thing happened. He asked me for my letter. Well, I think he asked me for my letter because he's speaking on Malay. And I said, oh, I'm not Malaysian. I'm from Canada. He's like, okay, go. And he let me go again. And this actually happened like 3 times to me. And I was like, man, these Malaysian police officers are so amazing. They're so nice to me. And remember the third time I told you in the vlog, last week's vlog, the police officer, I got to finish the story for you guys. You know when I told you the police officer was helping me? He wasn't just helping me. He was pushing the car. Right? Like I even offered, police officer, please go in the car. You can drive. He's like, no. I'll push. And I was like, what? And then it wasn't just him. Another motorcycle police officer pulls up later and helps with the car too. And then the police officer after jumps in and then drives the car into safety. So I've only had good run-ins with police officers for myself. I don't know. I've heard some bad things people say. But I don't think... I don't know. My experience is not like that. But, there is something I want to talk about just quickly about this. I call this the black sheep theory. You know how they have, all the sheep are white and then you'll have a black sheep. And whenever you call someone a black sheep, is someone who's like that one sheep that's always, biting and hurting and always going the wrong way, right? The one that's not a very good example. And my black sheep theory is this. No matter what organization, no matter what church or mosque or temple, no matter what company, every family, everyone, everything has a black sheep, right? You can't stop that. Are there going to be bad police? Absolutely. You're not going to stop bad police. There are always going to be those few bad police. There's always going to be the few black sheep of the family. right? There's always the people that make the company look bad. There's always the people that make Malaysia look bad. You know what I mean? And of course, the crazy part is people only talk about the bad things, so it feels like that's like, oh my goodness. But you can't really judge people or organizations or companies by the bad things. And I would say it's the same thing with people too. People, just me, myself, we always got bad parts. Like bad parts of our character, things that we're not very good at, or maybe bad temper, whatever it is, right? So my theory is, you know what? You're always going to find that there's going to be bad people everywhere, right? But it doesn't mean the whole organization. It doesn't mean the whole family. And it doesn't mean that person is bad either. They're always there. So I'm sure you guys have had, I'm not going to minimize and say you didn't have bad experiences with police. But in general, so far, and I think in general, most places have, like most people are good. And that's my feeling, right? So, yeah. So for me is I've had every good experience so far. And I know that I'm going to have bad experiences too. I will talk a little bit about that also. But here's another question people ask me is about language. And they ask, have you learned any Malay? Okay. So let me tell you, there's like Malay, right? There's Malay and then there's Manglish. And I never thought that Manglish was like a real language, but Manglish is not like Malaysian style English. Manglish is like 15 languages squashed together. That's what I realized. That's what Manglish is. You literally have to learn Manglish. Manglish is like, yeah, because like, you know what the very first word I learned? The very first word in Malay I learned, right? It was from Manglish. And you know, when I came to Malaysia the first time, you know what the first thing they say to me? Hey, Pastor Sky, hey, let's makan. Right? I'm like, what? Like, makan. I'm like, okay, what the heck does that mean? It's like, jom, makan. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? And this is one of the most important words that everyone has to learn in Malaysia is makan. Why? It is to eat. And I think jom means together, I think, right? So they're like, jom, makan. So those are the first two words I learned, right? The second word, the third word, which is just as important, especially if you're driving in Malaysia, and you don't want to learn this the wrong way, is the word keluar. I had to learn that keluar because when you're driving, you don't go into the keluar, you go out of it, right? And you don't want to make the mistake of going into the exit. Keluar is the exit. And because I drive a lot, keluar is something that I learned a lot. And then, of course, if you know keluar, you want to know the opposite, which is masuk, right? So I know that one also. And of course, like I told you, because, you know, I like satay, I have to learn the 10, which is 10, for those of you who are not Malaysian. And then daging is like meat, and ayam is chicken. Right? I forget what beef was. It was daging something. Daging lebam? I forget what it was. But I just tell the guy, he knows what I want. So I go, 10 daging. He's like, okay, no problem, right? And then I'm like, bungkus. Oh, and then, you know, when you're learning, bungkus is a Malay for, I learned that one as a takeaway. And guess when I learned that? I learned bungkus 2 weeks ago. And I've been here for over a year, right? Because most of the time we're ordering Grab. So there's no such thing as like bungkus. It's coming to you. But, you know, now that the borders are opening, I would go to the store and I would pick it up and they'd ask me. So bungkus I learned. Oh, this is the one I see a lot. It is dilarang merokok. No smoking. Do you know why I memorized that? No idea. I have no reason to memorize that. It's just I see it everywhere. Dilarang merokok. I was like, all right. Oh, there's another one. What's that? OKU, right? And this is where I learned at McDonald's because there's the OKU parking spot, right? And, pandu lalu. That's the drive-through, guys. Pandu lalu. See, I memorized that one too because you can tell I go to McDonald's a lot for the pandu lalu. I'm so stupid sometimes, right? I learned Tao Bao, right? And I'm gonna tell you some crazier stuff too. Some crazier stuff is like you know the Manglish here. Some of the Manglish I have no idea because it's British, and in Canada and America we use like American style English. So when you go to a restaurant, they're like, how many packs, right? And I'm like going in my head, I'm like, packs of what? Like packs of cigarettes or packs of. How many packs? I don't know what the packs means. In America, Canada, we don't use packs. We use like how many people in your party, how many people today, right? It's very, very simple, but you're like, how many bucks, right? I'm like, number one is, you're not swearing at me, right? How many bucks, right? I'm like, okay, so what are you trying to say, Pax? And I'm like, I look at my friends and they look at me like, you don't understand. I'm like, yeah, I have no idea. And obviously I had to learn what Pax is. And there's some bunch of stuff like that's really different for me in my mind as a Canadian is when you say, have you reached? And those are the only people in Malaysia will understand this. No one else understands this, right? Have you reached? And you know what reach is to me? It's this. Have you reached? Yes, I have. What are you reaching for? Reaching is like reaching for something. But, you know, I get text messages and they're like this, reached. I'm like, what the heck is that? Like, it's like incomplete sentence, right? It's like, imagine you're having a conversation, reach, right? I'm like, what? What do you mean? Reach for what? But it means you arrived, and that one totally blew my mind because reach is like to reach for something, right? And that means arrived, right? So if you guys are from Canada, America, when they say reach, it means they have arrived. Oh, and there's also, I'll come and fetch you. Fetch in America is used for dogs. So you take something like a stick and you're like, hey boy, and like, hey boy, and then you throw it and you're like, fetch, and then the dog fetches the bone or the branch and brings it back to you, right? So like they're like, should I fetch you? And I'm like, no, you may not fetch me. I am not a dog, right? Right. So there's just a bunch of different things. Like even stuff that like it's still confusing. It's not because it's wrong. I'm not gonna say it's not wrong. It's just different ways of using English, right? So it's not a wrong thing. It's just so different to me. The way I see it is so different. Like, hey, I'll follow you. You know what that means in America? Like, you know, say if I'm walking, someone following me is following me, right? Like they're behind me. But if you're driving a car and someone says, hey, you want to go? Okay, let's go. Okay, I'll follow you. Now, for me, that means that I drive my car and then your car follows my car. That's what it means to me. Like, I'll follow you. You are going to drive and follow my car. But I'm like, he's like, I'll follow you. I was like, cool. I get in my car and then he gets in my car. And I'm like, what are you doing here? You said you're going to follow me, right? And it's like, he's not, follow. Right? Follow here means like you get in the car. Like following is I'm expecting someone to like come and follow me. But instead they get in the car and it confuses me. I'll follow you, right? All right. And they get in. I'm just like, okay, this is weird. How is he going to follow me now? Like who's going to drive his car, right? But follow here. Yeah, so there's a lot of different things. And, you know, I don't need to go into any more. But guys, I got to let you know because this was in the comments a lot is, am I learning Malay? Not officially. Like I'm not officially learning it, but I am learning it as I go. And you know, you know, I'm not officially living here yet. I'm probably going to be here another year because the pandemic, vaccines and stuff is going to take a long time. So I'm pretty relaxed because it feels like I'm in a tropical paradise and I'm living in the best place ever. Okay, so here are some of the things that are a little bit difficult for me. And there's not a lot, guys. I'm going to tell you straight up, there's not a lot because the people are nice, the food is good, it's inexpensive. I love it. Okay, but here's a couple things that really, really bother me. Okay, they really bother me. Okay, I'll start with something very. No, this is not bothering me. This is more of strange to me. There are so many stray dogs here. It's really weird for me. Like there's so many stray dogs. Like and they all hang out together. Like I'll be, you know, when you do a U-turn under a bridge, I'll take a U-turn and I look. There's like a gang of dogs. They're all just chilling out under the bridge. Right? By my place, there's like dogs that just hang out, right? But like they have no owner. But there's tons of stray dogs, but there's no stray cat. I rarely see stray cats. I rarely do, but I see stray dogs all the time. I'm not sure why. So that's just kind of weird for me because I'm not used to seeing so many stray dogs. But that's not a bad thing, right? I would say the first bad thing is like, when I call cafe, like I like cafe hopping a lot. And when I call cafes, one of the things that bothers me is I call them and they answer the phone like it's a personal call. Like in Canada and America, it's very professional. It's like, it's like, hello, welcome to the Sleepy Hollow Cafe. How can I help you? My name is George. Like that's how they, every time, professionally, whoever calls the business, hello, welcome to Sky's Shake Shack. How can I help you? Right? So, you answer it knowing you're calling a restaurant or a cafe. But I call the cafes, and this happens every time. I was like, doo-doo-doo. This is how they answer. Hello? Hello? I'm like, is this a cafe? They're like, yeah, it's cafe. I'm like, then why don't you tell me? Right? I'm like, no one answers the phone professionally, right? No one says the cafe. It's always like, yeah, right? And they always answer like it's a personal call. And that bothers me. It's very small. You see, it's very, very small. Another one is your bathrooms here have a weird system. Okay, it's a very, very weird system. I'm gonna tell you first because there's two parts. Okay, so I used to live in Korea for 5 years, and they have the hole. The toilet's not a seat, but you have to squat, right? And that for me is very different. It's much more cleaner though, much more hygienic, right? And I have to have a seat. Do you know why? Because I didn't go to the bathroom to exercise, right? You're sitting like this, you're squatting, and I'm like shaking because my legs can't hold it, and I'm like going, this is supposed to be a pleasurable experience for me to go to the bathroom. But you know what the thing is better in Korea? When you have those toilets that have no seat, there is a bar, which means I can hold the bar. I can hold 2 bars, right? And I'm a little bit more relaxed, right? Because, but here, it just feels like, I just don't like those toilets. And that's just me. But that's not a bad thing. The thing that's crazy is not everyone has toilet paper. Everyone just has a hose. That's like a water hose there. And I'm thinking to myself is like, what is supposed to happen with this hose and this toilet, right? And I'm going to tell you this, guys. You know what I thought it was for? I thought that I had to clean the toilet every time I went to the bathroom. So there's no toilet paper. I go to the store, I buy my toilet paper, and after I'm done, I'm cleaning the toilet. Right? Ooh, just make sure everything's nice and clean for the next person. Ooh, and then I'll take my toilet paper and I'll wipe the seat so it's dry. That's what I thought it was for until later. They're like, no, it's not for that. I'm like, what's it for? They're like, I'm like, what? It's to clean. And I was just like, I can't do that. I can't clean it with water. And honestly, I tried it once and all my clothes got wet. I'm like, oh, right? I can't aim, guys. I can't see where I'm aiming. And I'm just like, shh. I'm like, and sometimes that water is too strong. It hurts. It's too strong. I don't like it, right? And sometimes I miss, it goes through my legs and hits the door, right? Sometimes it hits my pants and I'm wet anyways. So I always keep like tissue with me just in case, because that's I don't know what you guys do with that. It's kind of crazy for me to use that toilet without toilet paper. It's really crazy for me. So that's the one thing that's really hard for me. I always thought going to the toilet was a relaxing experience. I can sit down, pull out my phone, play a couple games, see the news, and just relax. Because you should be relaxed when you go to the bathroom, right? You should be relaxed. And it all comes out smoothly, right? I need that experience. But when there's no toilet paper and there's only a hose, I get nervous like, oh my gosh, I'm almost done. I got to put the hose somewhere where I don't want to put the hose. Oh my gosh, what if I get wet? And so it's very, very difficult for me. So there's a kind of one of the things, the second thing. The last thing I'm going to talk about, but this is not, I'm going to tell you guys, this is not a bad thing because I realized this is what happens in every country. No matter how, like Malaysians are chill. So chill, right? And, you guys are so relaxed. You do things a little bit slower. And I understand because it's relaxed. And I don't think it's a bad thing to do things nice and easy and slow. Sometimes you'd like it faster, but it's okay. But even though you guys are so relaxed and chill, even though you're so kind, you guys are crazy drivers. I don't know what it is, but this is the thing. It's not just Malaysia. Every country, you can have the nicest person ever, but when you put them in a car, they are crazy. And that's something that I've seen in every country. So I'm not going to say that that's a bad thing because everywhere you go, okay, guys, I'm a little bit crazy too, right? I might say some words I'm like a pastor's not supposed to say in my car when I'm by myself. Okay, I get it. But, so the driving is a little bit crazy, but it's fine. The thing that bothers me the most is parking. Like parking is terrible here. Like like you guys, it's almost like a game. Who could park the worst, right? That's like what Malaysia's like. It's like, oh, I could park worse than you. And then there's like a parking spot, but you park like on an angle. Some people park like horizontal. Some people park on the corner. It's like sometimes I'll be waiting there for someone to move, but they're actually parked. They're parked on the corner. Who parks on the corner of a road, right? I see cars parked like on the freeway. I'm like, what are you parking on the freeway for? It makes no sense to me. And then you triple park. And then when, have you guys seen those cars where I would sit there one time, I'd be at Sunway University in that area, and I would see a car parked in the middle of the road. And I would sit there like, what the heck is going on? Right? And it makes me feel like, you know what? Fine, I'm going to park sideways in the middle of the road too. Let's see who can park worse, right? But it's just triple parked and everyone else left first, except for the guy who came the latest and he triple parked. Their parking is terrible, guys. It's very terrible here. And that makes me a little bit not too happy. But, well, you know what? There is an advantage. There is an advantage because it makes me feel like I can break the law and I can just park any way that I want, right? And, I would just I'd park and I wouldn't feel that bad, right? It's like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to park upside down, right? I'm going to park upside down. I'm going to park at the entrance and let no one come in, right? I'm going to put my number in the car so they can call me to remove the car from the entrance. But no, overall, the parking's probably just terrible. And no, motorcycles are terrible. Motorcycles are terrible here. Yes. Okay, that's in my mind. Motorcycles. Oh my goodness, motorcycles drive like they own the road. They do. I'm sorry. I don't know who they are, right? But I think it's worse now because everyone orders Grab and Food Panda and all these places. These guys are crazy, right? I'm scared to, change lanes. I'm scared to change lanes. I have to look, double look like this, and then I'll finally move in. And even when I move in after that, they're like, beep, beep. I'm like, motorcycles are crazy. Motorcycles are crazy. All right, guys. So that's kind of the different things that I think, this is what my life has been like in Malaysia. And it's been really fun and exciting. And where does it rank in my top countries, right? The 23 countries, where would Malaysia lie? And I'm going to tell you straight up first is they are automatically in my top 3. Automatic, right? Well, how do you know? Because I actually want to live here. Right? I actually want to live here, which means they are automatically in my top 3, which means my hometown, Canada, that's obviously a place that I want to live because that's where I was born and raised. And Malaysia is at the top 3. And honestly, if I were to choose another country, it would probably be like America and Korea. Like those places. Like Korea would probably be at the fourth and fifth because, yeah, it's not easy. Right? Because my language, I'm not perfect in Korean. And this is the last thing I want to talk to you guys about today. This is the last thing is, adapting to, the reason why I can adapt so easily to Malaysia is because I've been to 23 different countries and I lived in all these different countries going around a lot. And there's one point for about 4 years, I was moving every 3 months. So adapting, I realized a couple things is, they say psychologically, your mind, whenever there's a big change, so it's not just about moving to a new country, whenever there's a big change in life, which includes like a pandemic and all these restrictions and the lockdowns, your brain goes through a cycle and it's usually about 4 to 6 months. About 4 to 6 months, it's new and exciting, right? Like, oh my gosh, look at Malaysia. Oh, the mangoes. Oh, the durian. No, I'm just kidding. I like durian. What's that called again? The something king. The Musang King. That's it, Musang King. I tried that one just last year, and that was great. Fried durian at the night market, even better. That was so good. What was it? Oh yeah. So adapting, one of the things you have to understand is what your mind goes through when there's big change. It takes about a good 4 to 6 months for your mind to go through that entire oh, it's so new, it's so exciting. But after those 4 to 6 months, what happens is you get used to it, and you're gonna deal with the same issues you had before. Right? You are. It's just going to be a normal thing. And you're going to go through these cycles in your mind where in the beginning, you're going to start to reject something. You're not going to like it. You're going to hate it. You're going to complain. And sometimes you're going to have to run away. You're going to even want to run away. So it happened to me in Korea. In Korea, I was there for 5 years. In the first 2 years, I was ready to leave. I was so unhappy. And once you get over that stage, then you're able to adapt a lot better. But this is something that your mind goes through anyways. any big change, right? And this is why a lot of people were struggling during the pandemic, being alone by themselves. Some people feeling really lonely, feeling depressed, wanting to try new things, taking bigger risks. And that's kind of a natural thing your mind goes through, but you just kind of have to wait that out, right? And when you get to that negative point, it's good to have some good friends around that can kind of pull you up from that negativity. Because once you go down the negativity, you start making huge mistakes, right? You start saying the things you regret. And a lot of people will just even leave even before they get used to the country. So for me, being here for over a year, I love it. And yeah, I had a hard time probably within the second month of the pandemic. I had a really, really hard time. And I feel sorry for the two people that were with me because I was scolding them. I was rebuking them. I was angry quick and easy. But once I realized, hey, what are you doing? And once I got over that, I apologized, and then I had to move forward and push a little bit forward like that too. So for myself, one thing is not just adapting to new countries and new cultures. It's more actually about you understanding the cycle your mind works in whenever there's a big change, and know that you're going to get negative as a normal process. Know that you're going to complain as a normal, like in your head, like, oh, I don't like this. Oh, how dare they say, oh, why do you like this? It's going to be a normal thing in your mind. And once you cross that plane, then you start to see hope, optimism, and you see things for what good they are, and you can really, really enjoy your time in whatever country or the new situation that you're in. All right, guys? So that brings us to the end of today's show. I'm really glad and thankful that all of you guys joined today. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing week. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe, hit the notification. Remember, like the video. If you haven't done it, just like the video right now. If you guys are watching, just like it. And on top of this, not just like, remember to comment. What are you commenting today? Comment on your favorite vegetable. You might not have one, but just write any vegetable you want. Just write in the vegetable and I will comment back to you. I'll reply to you about the vegetables I like too, which is not many, but either way, everyone have an amazing day. Thank you for joining us here on LAB78. My name is Sky from Canada. Ethnicity is Korean. Stuck in Malaysia because of the MCO and pandemic, but I love it here. Top 3 in the country that I've been to. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.